Welcome back to another episode of King and Sharif. I'm King.
I'm Sharif.
And tonight we are talking again about the Diddy case.
Wrapping it up.
We're wrapping it up. So I think today was closing arguments, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I believe what I saw, the prosecution wanted to
drop some charges.
It's not really dropping them. What happens is that in a Fed case, you know what I'm saying, what they're accusing him of, you know what I mean, they wanting to like reword it, you know what I mean?
To make it simpler for the jury
to make it simpler for the jury to understand. So it's not dropping the thing. Instead of saying, okay, he just kidnapped it, it's like something like, you know, holding them against their will.
What I saw was that they're going to drop the aiding and abetting of sex trafficking, and then they were going to drop the conspiracy to kidnapping or something like that. Kidnapping, arson, and then they're going to try to include the kidnapping and arson charge within the RICO charge.
Right. So he had what he had in the RICO, and then he had some charges outside of the RICO.
Right.
Now they're just trying to drop those and put it on the outside and put them on inside his case, just to say, hey, you know what I mean? We were able to prove that he has used bad boy funds to do a lot of this stuff, which is basically what the RICO is you take a business to if you take business funds to
for a criminal enterprise
for something criminal.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people are saying, like, this is the big misconception, and this is, and black. I don't know why black people don't understand this, but you know what I'm saying.
You trying to say we criminals?
No, they just don't understand law. So and that's why we get caught up with a lot of shit, because we don't know the law. Like every black person in America, we targeted, so they should know the law.
I mean,
you know what I mean. That should be something that they pay attention to in school, and because the way we're targeted. And the way the government is set up for us to go to prison, that's one. Don't wait to get in jail to learn the law.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You should know it before you even get in trouble, especially if you are doing something wrong. But what a lot of people are saying, oh, well, they hired, everybody was in consent. You know what I'm saying? That still doesn't mean it's not prostitution, just because hookers consent to sex every day.
That's true, but they also have their free will to be able to say no. So they consented at one point, but that doesn't negate the fact that they can come back and say, I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
And if they're forced into doing it, that's coercion.
So this is the big misconception. So let me break it down for you.
Break it down, Dr. Sharif.
Prostitution is illegal. Prostitution is illegal in every state.
Here.
Just about, I think maybe not Nevada, but it's illegal in 49 states. Okay, and some of the prostitution is illegal in Nevada, if I'm not mistaken. It's just the way you have to do it or whatever. You know what I mean? They can get around the law a little bit over there, but prostitution is illegal. So if you hire somebody to have sex, you are abating in prostitution.
You're a pimp.
You are participating in prostitution. If I go outside right now, whether the girl consent or not, if I ask her to have sex and I pay her, which they have tied and been able to prove that P. Diddy used bad boy funds for prostitution, for he paying people to come have sex with Cassie. Prostitution. Where the sex trafficking comes in is it wasn't outside his door, or it wasn't in his city. He flew him out. So once you fly him out, it goes from prostitution. Once you fly him out, it goes from prostitution. Once you cross state lines, it goes from prostitution to sex trafficking. So that's what a lot of people don't understand. They're like, well, they were willing, you just flying a person out there. No, if he would have flew him out with the intent of just having a freak off, there's nothing wrong with that. But once he paid him, it became prostitution, it became sex trafficking, because it came from Miami and LA and all over the place to New York City. Or he was in LA and they flew from Miami. You know what I mean? Different places. They crossed a bunch of state lines. So he's guilty of that. I wouldn't.
So you do think that they proved that?
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, they've definitely proved that he solicit prostitution. Yeah, they definitely proved that. And if he flew him out and he used bad boy credit cards and stuff, which they have pretty much proven that too. Yeah, he's guilty of that, but I don't think he deserves to lose his freedom for that. You know what I mean? I think maybe some probation and maybe some probation and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't see you giving this man life because of that. And then the rest of the case, I don't think they really proved that he kidnapped Cassie, and I don't think the other girl.
Well, so I did see someone break down why the charges were why they're kind of doing away with the other charges, or however you word it, was because Capricorn, they didn't think that Capricorn Clark was the situation with Capricorn being in the car during the thing with Kid Cudi and being at his house with the arson and all that stuff. They didn't consider that as kidnapping. I don't understand. I don't know.
I think both of them probably did a good job of, one did a good job of presenting and the other one did a good job of shutting it down. But, when he rolled up the Kid Cudi's house and all that kind of stuff there, they paint him as a monster. And,
you don't think he's not a monster?
No, I think he is. But, but you roll up into somebody's house and threaten them, you can't, and he's got proof of it. He's got proof you was in the man's house. What I mean? It just kind of makes you look like, hey, you are this person that they say you are. Like you are using your power to, to manipulate people and do other kind of things to people.
So the guy from TMZ, what is his name?
The white guy?
Harry Levin? Harry Levin, okay. Yeah. So Harry Levin, he basically said that the general consensus that he'd gotten from the audience, because they did kind of a poll, was that mostly everyone that's been watching the trial closely feels like he is going to either be a hung jury or they're going to find him not guilty because the prosecution didn't put on the best case, right? And that a lot of people feel like even though Diddy isn't the nicest person and he's crazy and he got a lot going on up here, that this case is basically amounting to character assassination and bedroom policing. That you might not necessarily like who he is as a person, and you might not like the things that he does in the bedroom, but that's what this amounts to.
Yeah, I mean, they proved he paid for sex. That's illegal.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, if anything, he's going to be found guilty of that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, just how severe a judge wants to sentence him. But, I mean, if I was on a jury, I'll find him guilty of prostitution and find him guilty of sex trafficking. That law is clear.
Okay, so the sex trafficking, I think that has a maximum penalty of 10 years. I think maybe.
Like if I would have seen that evidence, he's banking on the fact that it doesn't look so bad, and the judge may give him probation or 2 years.
You don't think they're gonna try to make an example out of him? The probation's kind of.
Well, even if they gave him 2 years, he's been sitting in there a year. So
Has he been there?
Yeah, he's been there about a year now. It's getting close.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? If you've been sitting in there that long, it's probably going to be. Depending on what New York laws are, it's probably going to be about time served. He might have to do a few more months.
Yeah,
that's. But crazy. I mean, most of the people with good behavior could get out of a 2-year sentence probably in about 14, 15 months. Mm-hmm. He's probably been in there 9 to 10 months. So he may just let him just out of there.
Okay, so here's a segue. We're going to get back to Diddy in a minute. I saw your Facebook post about about Tyler Perry. And the situation he got himself into.
Tyler Perry. Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that there's any?
Know. It's getting quiet. It was big. It was big last week, but it's getting.
Ain't nobody saying nothing.
Ain't nobody saying nothing this week, boy. The money being, the
money being passed around.
The money being the money being transferred, and I doubt very seriously they'll prosecute Tyler Perry. I think he lives in Fulton County, so I doubt very. I think so. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure like his business is in Fulton County, and they did say this happened at his business. But I doubt very seriously that they'll ever prosecute Tyler Perry. And they did Michael Jackson, but he was a little bit more serious. But you know what I mean. But yeah, I doubt very seriously. I think this just gonna go away. He's gonna have to write the boy a check, but he's a billionaire. You know what I mean? The man's suing him. It's not nothing criminal, but I just think.
I know. How much is he suing him for?
But that's how Diddy thing started out too.
I know, and then people started coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, the civil cases, and then so much comes out of the woodwork that any kind of a prosecutor that's kind of hungry for fame, and these prosecutors are politicians.
Yeah.
So anybody that's hungry for fame, they may jump on it.
$250 million.
Yeah, it's 250. Yeah, he ain't gonna give him 250, but I'm pretty sure he'll give him 50. You know what I'm saying? Over time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd probably write that. Just go ahead and write that.
Go ahead and give him 25 up front.
Especially if there's something to it, right? If there's something to what he's saying, I'm going to go ahead and make you go away.
The boy had text messages, but we don't know if the text messages are real. You know what I mean? The way the world is today. But what he...
I'm pretty sure whoever he went to, his legal counsel...
probably checked all of that.
Yeah.
But the dude didn't check everything when the girl came after Jay-Z though. Busby didn't fact check none of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he just jumped out there and he looked real stupid right now.
Yeah. All right, so back to Diddy. So let's just play devil's advocate and say that he gets off. What does the future hold for him?
Nah, he ruined his whole family's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he ruined everybody but Albie Short Kid. I think he's still going to get work and everything because he's always been a standoffish kid.
Yeah,
But the ones that used to party with him, Justin and Christian, they probably had never.
Justin was the one that was on Catfish with wasn't he on Catfish or something like that? Like he was a guest star on Catfish.
I don't know if he's been on TV like that. Justin Moore was like learning the business and stuff like that. He was like supposed to be the heir to the business, you know what I mean? So he was more working up on the puff. He dated some high profile type women and stuff.
So what do you think happens for him financially if he gets off?
Oh, I mean, he's gonna, but his money dropped from $1 billion to $400 million. He'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
but that's just what you worth though. So you know what I mean. Those are the people that they don't want to do business with him. And he probably had stuff in his contract saying he couldn't conduct clause that he violated. So they probably just dropped him like they did Kanye when
he's definitely gonna be a social pariah if he gets out of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think he pops back out with a couple people here and there, but.
You think people gonna still want to work with him?
No, I mean, I don't think he's gonna have a career in music or TV anymore. But he's got enough money to buy something, but just don't go public with it, So he's a smart guy, so he could. Yeah, he ain't that smart and like he ain't street smart, but you know what I mean. He knows the business, so you know what I mean. He should, he probably buy some stuff, some stocks and probably build his fortune back up. But he'll never be able to buy into a Ciroc again or buy into a Revolt again. The things that made him super, super rich, he'll never be able to buy into that kind of. Nobody touch that.
Yeah.
Nobody even want to be associated with his sons.
Yeah.
Like he ruined them and everything. Like he ruined their life. And the girls, they're gonna look at them as innocent because they was teenagers and stuff like that. So maybe that he can find, maybe that's his angle, to go and build through the girls, help them with like the Kim K route where all the young girls that are socialites get to do like, fragrances and lashes and hair and all that kind of stuff. Maybe that would be my plan. But being in the public eye, he's done.
Yeah. And so on the flip side of that, if he does go away, what happens to his money? Like what happened? Or did he put it all in his mom's name? Well, I don't remember them talking about. I think
they could touch the bad boy money. I think they could freeze that. But it's obviously like he didn't make the money off of this stuff. He didn't make money off of this. So the only thing that he probably going to lose is like some of that bad boy money. that because they're gonna be able to prove that he was using that to to run these sex offs or freak offs or whatever. But I mean, Bad Boy wasn't functioning no way.
I was getting ready to say who signed the Bad Boy?
He had nobody, so he'll be able. His son was the only one, so he'll be able to say, hey, you know what I mean, like, hey, this ain't. His lawyers will be able to show. He probably give up a few million, but he ain't gonna. They're not gonna be able to freeze all his money and take his homes and all that kind of stuff. They're not gonna be able to do all of that. They haven't done it yet, so I would expect them to do it. Usually, when the feds, if they feel like it was in a criminal enterprise, they go ahead and freeze all your stuff. You know what I mean? He's been able.
So they didn't do that when they raided his homes?
No, I don't think so. He's taking care of his kids and everything.
Huh?
I don't think so. I don't think they could tie him. I don't think they could tie like that part to anywhere but Bad Boy. Like, I don't think you can say, hey, he was running Revolt. He bought Revolt with sex. You know what I mean? He didn't. No, he wasn't making any money off of it. So it's not like he's a drug dealer. Like, where they can say everything that he's got was because of the drug enterprise. Or if he was running a sex trafficking ring, like they did R. Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Oh yeah. He's making money and he's making money off of these girls and all. He's got them singing and in the music business and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't like that. The thing with Cassie, I don't think they believe Cassie.
Really?
I mean, I believe that
she don't think she was a credible witness.
I believe they painted her as a monster, but I think nobody thinks that. I don't think that she was held against her will. I think she liked this shit. You know what I mean? The only thing that I think, you know what I'm saying, about her is that, like, when she tried to leave, she was getting beat up. But that's what, and that may have made her stay.
Don't think that, okay, I was
but
about to say,
but that's not what he's being charged with, though.
That's true. That's true.
So, I don't know how she ties into proving that he's running a criminal sex, sex ring.
Well, sometimes it's not even the actual act of getting beat up. It's the threat of being beat up that will make you not want to make you do something against your will.
Right. Nah, but I think they got on too many tapes saying, hey, call up Big Boy or whatever. Call up homie, you know what I mean? I want and begging for the free calls, and he even got text messages and stuff when they didn't have to put anybody on the stand in Puffy's defense. For one, they probably asked for some character witnesses and nobody wanted to touch him. Yeah, you know what I mean? But
I definitely wouldn't want to align with him.
Yeah, and I hope he doesn't go to prison because
You don't?
No, because I don't think he understood what this was.
You don't think he understood?
No, well, I don't think what they're charging him with, I don't think that he understood.
Nah, dog. He understood, exactly. He understood.
No, I understand he's a monster and he's a woman beater. But I don't understand, but he's a monster freak and a woman beater, but I don't think he understood that, hey, you can't fly people for sex and pay them. You know what I mean? I don't think he was really grasping like, hey, bro, that's against the law.
I'm gonna have to agree to disagree.
Yeah,
he know that shit was against the law.
Yeah, I mean, he might have done, huh? Yeah.
All these people get flew out all the time.
Yeah, they do that in the music business. Like, it's just regular practice.
Sean P. Diddy Combs knew that paying someone to have sex with him and then flying them across state lines for the purpose of having sex with them and then paying them afterwards, that shit is illegal.
Yeah.
Isn't it the same thing when you dating somebody and they fly you out somewhere?
The same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, he was.
But wait. Yeah. But that's the same thing as your wife doing what she does to get what she wants from you.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real now.
I think when you get with it's a difference in prostituting and then. Like, if you go and you talk to an Instagram model and she say, well, fly me out, let's have a good time, and then after she get there and if y'all have a good time and you try to have sex with her and she say something like, I know you're gonna take care of Bill, I know you're gonna do this for me, I know you're gonna do that. That's tricking. But I don't think it's prostitution. I don't think it's prostitution. But I think where you get into the prostitution is if you contact the Instagram model and the Instagram model's in Miami and you say, yeah, I'm gonna fly you out, and she say, Oh shoot, I ain't going nowhere unless you send, you wire me at least $1,000. You know what I mean? Or you send me at least $500
Cause
on
she
my
got to get her
cash
hair
app.
and her nails done.
Yeah, but that's prostitution now.
Is it?
That's soliciting sex. If you ask somebody to pay for whether it's the P, we're both on P, but if I'm trying to be clean, but I'm trying to be clean, but I'm trying to be clean about it. But if you ask somebody if you ask somebody for money, you're a prostitute. If you ask somebody to get your hair done and your nails done, that may be tricking, but that's not the same thing because you don't know if you're gonna get sex or not. But if you're making an agreement. You make an agreement. Plenty of people that got flued out and they didn't even have sex with the person. You know what I mean? But if you make an agreement, hey, I'm going to pay you this much money to come, and then when you get here, I got some more money for you and stuff like that. That's prostitution. You basically that ain't no different than you going outside and seeing somebody walk down the street and she say, well, yeah, how much you gonna give me, daddy? You know what I mean? And you say, well, how much you want? And she say, well, I got $200. I need $200, and then you pay her $200. You broke the law. That's not tricking. And she say, hey, you know what I mean? I'm willing to chill with you, have a good time, and yeah. And then after y'all have a good time, she say something. I know you're gonna get my nails done. Now that's just tricking. It's a difference. You know what I mean? There's a difference between tricking and prostituting. You know what I mean? Some people you want to be in a relationship with, but these people they just buying coochie and buying penis for just to, you know what I'm saying, for some freaky stuff. They committing a crime. You know what I mean?
It never fails.
Yeah.
So how do y'all compare the Diddy situation with that Trump case?
Trump case.
You talking about with Stormy Daniels?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, yeah, but he's Trump. I mean, they took him to court. They took him to court too, when he was found guilty. He came president. Came president, ain't did a day. I never seen nothing like it in my life. Yeah. I never seen nothing like that. He could have been Harvey Weinstein for all we know. He was down with them boys.
He was. And Epstein too.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to come out. A lot of stuff going to come out about Trump after he dies. Like when he dies, I think all of these stuff that all these people got on him that they don't want to release, they'll release it then. And even though he'll be dead, but I think his legacy will be ruined once they see all the stuff that he done.
His legacy been ruined.
But not with them. Not with his supporters.
Well, I think some of them now are like, okay, this is all that stuff.
His supporters. He bombed Iran this week, and his supporters was like, yeah, they should be bombed. Like this is the same president that ran off of the statements of saying, hey, we don't get involved in other people's stuff. That's what people like, because the Democrats get involved in everybody's business. So when he was running, he said, we don't get involved. The Democrats have you at war. They do. And what did he do? He ain't been back in office 6 months and done bombed somebody.
He haven't been in office 6 months yet?
I think it's about 6 months.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he done bombed somebody. And then he like, oh, it's a ceasefire. Man, they're not going to forgive that shit.
No, a ceasefire says who? When he's like, there was a ceasefire, they bombed like less than
when you do a ceasefire.
an hour later?
Nah, they chill for a little while and they just getting their stuff together. Planning their little terrorist attack and stuff. Like, I never would have messed with Iran. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course America could blow them out the map. But they got so many people in, like, America, like them sales and stuff, man. They got so many sales in America and abroad and stuff like that.
And then also, too, they shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which is the largest exporter of crude oil in the world. So it hasn't trickled down to us quite yet, but it's going to. So gas prices are going to go up because y'all president's stupid. Yes, I said it. Y'all president's stupid.
Gas prices are already creeping to $3.
I mean, $3 for who? Because I don't pay $3 for gas.
Well, I mean, regular gas almost $3.
Is it?
Yeah, everywhere I see it, $2.99, $3.01, $3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't pay attention.
$2.89 is $3 a me.
Yeah, that's true.
Gas already high. You gonna go with it, but all of that stuff about oil and religion, man. They love messing with the Muslims, man. They want to control the religion thing. What Israel is if they wanted, they could wipe Israel out. So Israel is stuck in the Middle East. The rest of the countries are Muslim countries, and it's just Israel right there. Everything around it, even Saudi Arabia, everything is around them, surrounding them, is Muslim countries, and they the only country that's right there in the middle of it. So they don't want to. So they could get wiped out. So they need help. They use the Jews, and they use the Christians, you know what I mean, across the world to, because there's more Christians and more Jews than it is Muslims. So they just, you know what I mean, they use the religion to make you say, oh, we got to protect the Holy Land, you know what I mean, we got to protect, Bethlehem or whatever, we got to take Jerusalem. Yeah, we got to protect this right here because it's, it's where God's from or whatever. So, you know what I mean? They use that. But what they do is they know that the world's going to protect Christianity. But what they do is they just go poke at these people. They start everything. And I'm not saying that just because I don't even practice Islam like that. But I just seen it all my life. Like they go over there and mess with the Pakistanians and stuff. They go over there and mess with the Pakistanians got that Gaza right there. They want that. You know what I mean?
Well, you know why they want that though.
Well, yeah.
Because of the location and
it doesn't belong to them. And then okay.
Wait, Gaza doesn't belong to who?
It belongs to the Palestinians. Okay. So then the Israelis, they building too much nuclear stuff going on in Iran. They could just wipe us out with a nuclear bomb. Let me go over there and pick with them, mess with them, because we know.
Why now though? Why mess with Iran now? No,
it's been going on forever.
But
it's been going on forever. Israel has been picking with these people.
No, I know Israel's
forever. Like they've been bullying these people forever. Not just because they're the biggest country in the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? They just go pick. I think they're the biggest country in the Middle East. I'm not quite sure, but they're big. They're bigger than Iran, Iraq, and Syria, and all them other little countries over there. Kuwait and all them. Well, Kuwait is American territory, but they just go over there and mess with these people all the time. Drop bombs on them whenever they want to. Kill innocent kids. There's a lot of things the news don't show you because it's supposed to be the Holy Land. They don't want to show you that these Israeli people, man, they monsters. Like they are caught up in a religious war, and they would lose if all those Middle Eastern countries got together and just ran up on them. But they know America's going to protect them. England is going to protect them. France is going to protect them. All these other countries that are Christian countries are going to come protect them. You know what I mean?
You talking about Israel? They're going to come protect Israel?
They're going to protect Israel.
But right now, a lot of Israel's allies, as well as the U.S. allies, are kind of giving Israel the turkey eye because they're like, listen, why are you
messing with these people?
Why are you messing with these people?
They were quiet. They wasn't bothering nobody.
Right.
The 4 years that Biden was in there, not that Biden had anything to do with it, because I doubt but they were silent. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't messing with nobody. Even most of Trump presidency, they wasn't really fighting over that. And then the Russians go messing with who they want to mess with. You know what I mean?
Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine. But I mean, that's a different war. But I'm just saying, like, they were staying out of it. You know what I mean? Like, why you want to go and then poke the bear when the bear's chilling?
And that's just, maybe this is just the conspiracy theorist in me. But you don't think that this Iran, Israel stuff is a distraction from something else?
No, I just think, you know what I mean? It's like this. They see what Iran may be one of the most powerful Middle Eastern countries, and they see what Israel is doing to the Palestinians, and those, and they may not agree with everything, but those are their brothers. You know, they really feel like that. Like in Islam, they really feel like those are their brothers, and they've been picked on, and they're being bullied by Christians and Christians and Jews. That's how they look at it. They don't look at it like country. They look at it as a religious war. You know what I'm saying? And in their book, in the Islamic book, it says Islamic people are peaceful, but you know what I mean, if somebody attacks Islam, that you're supposed to join forces. So they're just watching these people just get killed and bombed and these babies dying that they helped. You know what I'm saying? They helped. And Iran is powerful. Like Iran could really give Israel problems where they run over the Palestinians. You know, the Palestinians, you know, they bomb a few churches and do a few things to to make it, you know, they can hang for a while, but they can't win, you know? So they come to the Israelis, they come to the Palestinians defense, and now, you know what I mean, now America feels like they gotta come to Israel's defense because Iran has nuclear weapons. Iran's been quietly built, you know, they got rid of supposedly they got rid of the nuclear weapons in Iraq, but the whole time they messing with Iraq and all them wars that year, Iran was just silently building. So Iran has got nuclear weapons that could really put some stuff, you know, really hurt Israel. But you know, America ain't gonna let that happen. They'll fight Iran. They'll fight Israel's battles, and NATO will join in and all that kind of stuff. But they don't want to because they really feel like, hey man, it's quiet.
Well, I mean, but it's getting to a point now where these countries hand is getting forced. And diplomacy's not working right. It's not working anymore.
They're into an agreement. They have the little summits every 2 years or whatever. They're into an agreement that if one of those countries is attacked, that they is losing, they gotta help them.
Yeah.
And you know, not only is Israel powerful because of religion, they have a lot of resources.
They do.
So you know what I mean. They're gonna protect Israel. Is even if they don't want to, like,
I think they're going to protect Israel until they don't.
And they're going to protect them. They don't have no choice. They've always protected them. I don't see history changing just because they picked on the Muslims. They just like, oh, that's not fair. But hey, it's our ally. We got to jump in just in case somebody attack us. We're going to need their help.
We need to mind our business.
Yeah. Well, Trump was supposed to be the mind your business president. Send the Mexicans home. Don't worry about nobody else around the country. That's how you want to build your economy. You know what I'm saying? Don't fight wars and kick the Mexicans out. You know what I mean? But shoot,
Mr. Trump.
Yeah, I mean, he's a character, man. But he ain't, you know, he can't be president after 3 more years. So
I don't think he'll make it. Well, anyway.
Anyway, he can't be president after 3 more. I think he's healthy enough. He'll make it 3 years. He don't look unhealthy. He don't look like Biden.
I don't think that he looks unhealthy, but I can clearly see a cognitive decline. Like, I've seen 2 press conferences where he started talking and he started rambling and they cut his mic. So he's definitely like,
yeah. He's declining, but you know what I mean, which anybody would. He's 80-something years old.
Yeah, he's 70,
I don't know.
79.
I think they should have a cutoff, an age limit, man. I don't think I actually agree with them that Joe Biden shouldn't be running the country. But you know what I'm saying? I just didn't think that Joe Biden was running the country. I thought Harris was actually running the country.
You think Trump running the country?
I think Trump got more say in what's going on in the country than Biden did. I think he's got a Republican Senate. So and they all want to get reelected, and most of these, especially down south, most of these states are pro-Trump. So you don't really.
A lot of the red states are, but then also there has been some of these midterm election and special elections where deep red country is not deep red country anymore. It's turned blue, or it's been such a close race till the Republicans are like, oh, something that election that they thought that they had in the bag, and then once either a Democrat won or it was such a close race till they realize that they can't take they can't take it for granted, basically, because if they do, they just don't need to take nothing for granted.
I'd like to know what states that is because I think Democrats are losing states.
How though? What states you talking about?
Ohio is going more Republican during these elections. Michigan is going more Republican. Pennsylvania is starting to go more Republican than shit. He didn't. Trump won Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's a Democrat state.
I don't think
he won Ohio.
Okay. All right, I don't think that. So you do know that they're in the middle of a recount because of all the swing states that are swing states went completely Republican, and they're finding that.
Oh well, yeah, of course he manipulated the internet, but
so if he manipulated it,
they're
how
not
can
going
we
to be able to prove it, or they're not going to say that. They're not going to ever be able to prove that it was some kind of conspiracy.
So your glass just half empty, huh?
Man, they're not coming after Trump. The man was found guilty. And they just say, hey, it's nothing here. No, nothing. He didn't have to do 1 day in jail. He didn't have to do 1 hour in jail. Man was convicted, 30-something charges? That man is invincible. Nobody's going to be able to bring him down. There's nobody powerful enough.
He's not invincible. Ain't nobody invincible.
The people with the most power is his friends.
Well, he can't. That remains to be seen.
He can't be got. And then these other states, they love him, man. These states that used to be Democrat, you know what I mean? We really messed up when we had got Biden. Because, like, you know what I mean? It's like...
As opposed to the alternative?
No, Biden shouldn't have ran. It should have been somebody else, another Democrat.
There wasn't anybody else.
There really wasn't nobody else that could beat him, but... You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. We still got 8 years of Trump. He stood in there for 4 years, and the man came back for his other 4 years. I would have rather him just do the 8. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and do the 8 and be gone.
Now that you say that, it probably would have been better for him to just go ahead and do the straight 8 because there was 4 years of them to Project 25 and reset and figure out exactly what they were going to do. Excuse me if you are a Republican watching this or you're a Trump supporter, but... They took those 4 years to figure out everything they needed to do to make America great again, which really is setting our country on fire. And I'm going to get off my soapbox.
No. But what they did was, you're right. What they did was, you know what I mean, Trump was punished because of COVID. If it would have never been no COVID, he would have won the re-election by a landslide. You know what I'm saying? He was punished for what happened at COVID. You know what I'm saying? And then... What happened was Biden was able to get us out of COVID, but then he wasn't able to put it together after that, the economy back together. So whenever you're running for election, you could have some scandal. You know what I'm saying? Or you could do this, you could do that. But
the only person that can have the scandal, a Trump scandal, is Trump. Nobody else will be able to get away with that.
Right, but you know they was trying to they put scandal in everything. And you know how they was trying to say Obama wasn't really an American, and they tried to say Biden, you know, was too old and incompetent and all that. They gonna always and his son was, you know, drugs and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They gonna always find something on somebody. But the thing about it was that Biden didn't fix the economy. You know what I mean? They won because Trump destroyed it. Trump inherited a good economy from Obama.
Yeah.
And just like any good CEO, he was able to go ahead and take a good hand and keep it going. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know, the economy didn't go to shit until COVID. He was on his way out the door. So he was punished for that, and then Biden came in, and you know, when you come in off of the fact that this man messed up with COVID, lost a lot of lives, and the economy is going down, we want you to put that Obama juice on there and get it back right. And he wasn't able to do that. And that's why he lost. And then the fact that he was old and he didn't give up the re-election until it was a month or two away from the election. You know what I'm saying? If he would have came out...
It was about 45 days or 60 to 45 days.
The year before that, when they start saying, "Are you gonna run for a re-election?" He should have gone ahead and said, "No, my health is declining, and you know the Democratic Party don't want me to run. So now you can go ahead and prepare whoever's gonna run a year ahead of time. He wasted a year just to drop out. So you know what I mean. It was a lot for a black female already. Got a lot of going against her. It was a lot for that to turn around in 2 months. And I didn't never pay attention to the numbers because I saw what they did to Hillary. So I never paid attention to the numbers. I knew she was gonna lose. I just was gonna do my job and go vote. But I knew she was gonna lose because the black men didn't want to vote for her. You know what I'm saying? They had all these conspiracy theories about how she put a bunch of black people in jail. She was a prosecutor. LA is black and Mexican. Who else she gonna put? She put white people in jail too. It's just more black, more Mexicans in California. Like, you know, we can't. How can you win that argument? You know what I mean? So they had all these conspiracies against her and all this kind of stuff, and you know the Republicans was able to say, hey, you know, hey, Biden is old and slow. He wasn't running the country. She was running the country. So these are the problems that we're having now. Is not just Biden. They just push him up there to the podium, and that's how they made it look. Like they just like Weekend at Bernie's. He's a dead man. They just walk him up to the podium, and you know what I mean. Let him say a few words. You know what I mean. Might be somebody. Might be dead. It might be somebody in the back. You know.
Okay, Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, you know he's a Weekend at Bernie dude. You know they just dress him up and walk him up.
Okay.
It was a brilliant strategy because it looks like that.
Oh,
Then he gets up there and he says the crazy stuff.
Versus crazy
no, Trump say crazy stuff, but then Biden just, you know, mid-sentence, you know, I forgot what I was saying. You know? Come on, man. They was able to, they put the master plan on us, man. That's all. I'm a Democrat, and, you know, I used to say I'm an independent Democrat, but I never voted any other way. The only time I ever voted Democrat was Republican. I voted for Nikki Haley one time.
What?
Yeah, I voted for Nikki Haley.
Why?
The first time, because Nikki Haley brings business. I'm a businessman. Nikki Haley brings businesses.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sometimes a Republican is a better candidate.
No.
Carol Campbell was a better candidate.
No, for real. Nah, okay.
Yeah. They may be racist. They all racist. You can't go by that. They all racist.
I know.
Nikki Haley's racist. So is.
How? Nikki Haley, how are you racist?
No, I don't know, but she don't look like she like black people to me. She don't act like it. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing with Nikki wasn't about race. It was just that it was about Amazon, Honda, what else she brought? Mercedes, Volvo.
She helped bring Boeing too, didn't she?
Boeing.
Yeah.
Man, that lady go in a boardroom and she'll sell you some shit. The only reason why she ain't president is because she ran afoul on Donald Trump. If Donald Trump didn't want to run again and he said Nikki Haley is the candidate for you, Nikki Haley would be president. You would have a woman president. It wouldn't be a black woman, but you would have a woman president. She would be the first woman president.
Listen, I take exception to that, and here's why. Because if they wouldn't elect Hillary Clinton, they're not going to elect an Indian American.
She was a Democrat. She was a Democrat, and she was a Clinton. So you know what I mean. If Donald,
she had a double whammy.
Yeah, she had a double whammy, and you know she got all black people love Hillary, but the white women, you know what I mean. She won most of the white women vote, but you know what I mean. They turned on her for the husbands. They just didn't even go vote. They was just like, oh yeah, She got it. I ain't gonna run no foul against my husband and, you know what I mean, get cussed out or say what I want to say because, you know, he want me to don't vote for a woman, you know what I mean? So they just didn't go.
How do you know how you know who I voted for if you wasn't in the booth with me?
Man, you know they have that conversation. You know married people have that conversation.
I get it.
You know them women just like, you know, he might be, and then they probably thought he might be right. He probably hammering it on them.
Tell me who to vote for. Boy, if you don't go somewhere and sit down.
No, but I ain't gonna lie. I've been with a woman that when Hillary was running said she wasn't voting for Hillary. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why are you voting for Hillary? I don't just think a woman could run the country. We got too many, you know, PMS issues. I'm like, what that got to do with anything? The day you got your period on, the vice president just run the country.
Versus that emotional wreck that we got running the country now.
It's insane how they think. I did not understand how she think. I said, if you ask me, in my lifetime, President Clinton was. I don't care if he got some head in the White House. They probably all get head in the White House. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Donald Trump done got him a piece in the White House. You know what I mean? Kennedy got a piece in the White House. You know what I mean? Like, they do that kind of stuff.
Is it time, Harry?
No, I'm just saying that he was the best president we ever had. And then when Hillary comes running, they came out with the 3-strike law, trying to get black men not to vote for Hillary. Oh, they came out with the 3-strike law. What the fuck is wrong with the 3-strike law? If you 3 strikes, it was three violent crimes, and you get life in prison. No. Man, I don't care if you black, white, green, or yellow, if you commit 2 violent crimes I don't want you out on the street either. Why would I want somebody that done committed two, 3 violent? And then they try to say, because some of these crimes are just drugs. No, they wasn't. A drug charge wasn't a violent crime when Clinton that law. They just started adding that if it's a serious Trump put in that if it was like a heroin charge or like that right there, then that can be considered a violent crime. It wasn't considered a violent crime when the Clinton, like heroin, or like they can make that's a violent offense heroin. Now. Yeah, heroin, that's a violent offense right now. So you know what I mean but it wasn't when they first came out with the law. It wasn't. So that's what I'm saying. What are you laughing at? What did I say wrong? Huh?
My grandma used to say
heroin. Shit, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's the heroin there. We said the right way. Heroin. Shit, that's what we say in the street. Heroin. Dog food. Let's do it that way. Dog food. Shit, that dog. Shoot, man, that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. All of this stuff is crazy.
All right, so So Diddy.
Diddy.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Okay.
Not guilty of what they charging him for. Guilty of just being guilty of a lot of other stuff that they couldn't charge him for.
Freak of the week. Freak of the century.
Guilty of criminal domestic violence in the first degree. But they can't charge him with that. So.
Can't charge him with that.
Can't bring that back. It was over 7 years ago.
That's true. Can't bring that back.
Can't bring it back. But it's on tape. So,
But they didn't charge him with it.
It ain't gonna help him. No, but I'm just saying, gonna help him with his reputation.
Yeah, his reputation's already ruined. So it is what it is.
Tupac said it best, bro. You ain't gotta be in jail to be doing time. He gonna do time. Right. He gonna do time out of jail.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you lose your friends. They're not gonna come around him. You might have a few of them that'll sneak in the back door and come talk to him, but you know what I mean. Then nobody gonna touch him.
Well, it is what it is. You do play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So.
But my biggest thing about that, I just wanted to say this: like, why would you even, in the world that we got right now with cameras, girls get jealous that you drop them and mess with other and
because
start.
He thought he was invincible.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, why would you even? Same thing with R. Kelly. Why would you even risk your legacy like that? Like your legacy that eventually somebody was gonna say something.
Maybe they did know that. Maybe they thought. I mean, because after a while, when you continue to get away with the same thing over and over again, you have a tendency to start being reckless and don't think that it's ever gonna, catch up with you.
I get that, but
because how cocky are you?
It just doesn't happen.
Well, but how cocky are you to do the things that you was doing and record it, and keep the copies of it?
Yeah, these guys record stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
They making the case for these other people. I would if I had, I wouldn't even do my kids like that. Like if I had the kids, if I was rich like that, and people were giving me the keys to the city, and people was coming to me for business, $1 billion business deals on the table and stuff there's no way I could have any girl I want. I would risk my my freedom or my legacy by, you know what I mean, beating on women and having these freak offs on tape and stuff like that.
Now at 2.2, but when you start getting into the millions, billion category,
but ain't nothing you could do. At my age, it ain't nothing that I could do that I would want to do that I couldn't do now. Well, not now, but I'm just saying if I had $1 million, there's nothing that I could do that I couldn't that with $1 billion.
$1 million about a whole lot of $100.
No, I mean $1 million. $1 million is good.
I know.
$1 million is good, but I could live off $1 million and be happy. Like I don't need $1 billion. Like that's just like okay, great.
So if you had an opportunity, so you telling me if you had an opportunity, you got $2 million and you got an opportunity to flip it to 6, that you wouldn't want to?
I mean, the business person in me will want to, but I'm just saying, like, when I get that 6, it's nothing that I'm gonna want to do with that 6 that I couldn't do with that 2. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna go buy a big old yacht. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like being on the water. Like, it's nothing.
So that's a bad example then.
No, it's nothing that I could buy with $6 million that I can't buy with 2. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, okay.
You sure?
What am I gonna buy?
I don't know. I'd figure out.
I mean, what am I gonna buy? What am I gonna buy? It'd just be like throwing away money. What am I gonna buy? The only reason why I would want to get to $1 billion is so I can help other people. But it's nothing that I can do with $1 billion. At 48, yeah, be 40, 48 next week. It's nothing that I can do with $1 billion besides give it away or have it or be aggravated by everybody asking me for money. Like it's nothing that I could do. Like it's nothing in my life that requires that much money. Like I don't need I was just watching Shaq. It's got this big old mansion, and it's got like something like 50-something bedrooms, and he lives there like with just one of his sons. Like you don't even use the whole other side of this thing.
That's wasteful.
You know what I mean? Like what am I gonna?
Man.
I get it getting ducked off in some kind of gated community where nobody's around you. But what do I need with the other side of that house? Like, what am I gonna do with? Okay, I'm flipping real estate. That's fine. I can flip real estate. I don't have to stay there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not nothing that I'm gonna. That would creep me out to be in a big ass house like that, and there's only 2 of us there and a damn maid, and y'all so separated from each other that y'all can't hear each other. That's prison. That would drive me crazy to be sitting
Actually, that's
there
part
like
of the reason
that.
why I sold my house, because it was 5 bedrooms. It was 5 bedrooms, and it was just me and a dog. And my bedroom was downstairs. All the bedrooms upstairs. It was just like a waste of.
What you mean?
I was like, I'm not doing this.
Like, I was in the car business. I literally drove every car.
So cars don't really impress you, right?
I really no.
Yeah,
I really, and everybody like, oh, man, then you got some money. Why you drive a Kia? I said, because it's good on gas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've been in a wreck in one. I know what it's gonna do. You know what I mean? I know how long I don't have to keep taking it to the dealership. I got that $60,000 Jeep. That shit done been to the shop 4, 5 damn times. That Kia out there ain't never been to the shop.
Yeah.
And the other one that I had before I wrecked it, it ain't never been to the shop. But
I agree with you on that.
Like
new cars don't impress me.
New cars on the present. I don't need the Bentley. I might buy me. I got a thing for Beamers, for red Beamers. I might buy me an old red Beamer. I could do that now, but I'm just saying, like,
I might. Cars on the present. Why was you trying to put me in the Benz? A Benz a few episodes ago. You remember that?
No,
I was trying to put me in the Benz.
I'm just messing with you, like a Benz nice. My mama got a Benz. My mama got a Benz, so it's like she can't drive. You know what I'm saying? Like
putting your mama business in the street.
No. I'm just saying I ain't get the people the tag number, but But yeah, I mean, she got a Benz, she can't even drive it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's nothing that, a car don't impress me, a house don't impress me. I don't live in nice homes, I don't live in the projects. I had more fun in the projects than I had in my house was a pretty nice house, but you know what I mean? Like, well, it ain't no more because I still ain't fixed it downstairs.
Don't worry about it.
But
For real?
It ain't.
Yeah.
It don't.
good
that
on
don't
a
bother
house
me.
now. Yeah, I'm good on at least a big house. I don't think I ever want to own a big house again.
And I love that little house that you had got me, man. I love that little thing, man.
Yeah.
Like that's enough space. I don't got no kids, and it's small enough that if somebody wanted to, if 3 kids wanted to come move, I ain't got no space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't, go somewhere. I ain't got, find something to do. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no like the kids want to come stay for the summer. No, I got nowhere.
I ain't got nowhere.
Got nowhere for you to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, go on over there where all the other kids at. It doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? That's how I am. I just,
You're a mean granddaddy.
I don't want. Oh yeah, I am mean granddad. I don't want to travel. I don't want to travel the world. I don't even like abroad. I had a passport for 2 years. It ain't got a stamp in it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got a stamp in it. The only time I ever been out the country, I've been to Cancun before you had to have all that stuff and everything like that. Before, before I went like 18 years old, before all of the 9/11 and all that kind of stuff, and you had to have a passport and all that kind of stuff. But I've been to Cancun. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never wanted to, do all of that. You know what I mean? Go to Italy and Italians don't even like black people. You know what I mean? I ain't got to go over there and kiss up to no Italians, and you know what I mean? I ain't religious, so I don't want to go to see the Pope. You know what I'm saying? The Vatican. You know what I mean? I don't gotta go to Greece. You know what I'm saying? The food nasty over there, from what I heard.
And with that,
that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to prove my point that, and I ain't been drinking or nothing. I'm just trying to prove my point that it's nothing. It's nothing. Why would P. Diddy go out like that? It's nothing. Billions of dollars could make me change, my legacy. That's all I'm saying. Like my kids, when my kids walk the street and they tell people who their daddy is, they be like, oh, I know your daddy. Yeah, he sold me a car. He did this, he did that. Oh, I know your daddy. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? That means more to me than a freak off. Like there's no woman out there that could get me in a situation where they got me on tape beating on them and peeing on them and shitting on them and all that. He's just a crazy person. You know what I mean? Like that even finds somebody pooping on you as attractive. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, it's just a waste of a legacy. And it probably took him, and he's a black man in America, so it probably took him a lot of work to build that. You know what I mean? It took him a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of bad nights to build what he built, just to throw it all away. Like my mama said, don't throw it all away for a piece of poom poom. For a piece of poom poom.
And that concludes
my mama tell me that all the time.
Tonight's episode of King and Sharif.
That wasn't even an hour.
It was an hour.
It wasn't even an hour. How much was it, Terry? See that? It wasn't even an hour.
That concludes this episode of King and Sharif. I'm King.
She ain't want to work today.
I did want to work today. We talking.
She want to get off 3 minutes early.
What you?
Just messing with
you. Next episode we're going to be talking to Dr. Jones.
What does Dr. Jones do?
He is.
Oh, it's a he. Okay.
Yeah. He's a family practitioner. He's going to come talk to us about the diseases and things that affect the black community and what we can do about it. And he also has, he's just got a lot of stuff to talk about.
I want to know about them chips they put in us at birth. That's what I want to ask about them chips they put in.
Because you stupid.
How they know all of this stuff?